All right. I think we're live.
Here
It's
we are.
FRIDEAS.
Young Fridays. Exposed Toxic and Showerez back in the building.
Yep. I'm sipping tea. Not sponsored, so I'm not telling you what type of tea is, but just know it's Moroccan mint.
Nice. I also have a cup of tea over yonder. I got some water next to me right here.
Yes, they're over in the abyss.
Yeah, we're in the
But
abyss.
yo, before we were about to get on this podcast, bro, I'm going to get a little personal with y'all. I was taking a shit, right?
Okay.
And bro, one of my biggest fears when you're wiping is like poking a hole, bro. You feel me?
Yeah, why you gotta start it like this?
No, because while I was shitting, I was like, this is the perfect time to talk about this.
I guess.
Because like, it'd be weird if I talked about it off camera, because then it'd be kind of personal, you know what I'm saying? But now I got an audience watching. I know there's a lot of y'all out there that's going to agree with me. But anyway, man, what you want to get into
Okay,
today?
there you go. Yeah.
Break the awkwardness.
Yeah, that's cool. Let me bring something up here, okay, in my notes. All right. So for this episode of FRIDEAS, I want to ask you, what are some new habits that you have, and why are these important to you to have these new habits?
The one that sticks out to me the most is my eating habits. No processed foods for the whole year of 2024. Not eating any snack foods as far as chips. Crackers is acceptable for me. I feel like crackers is pretty healthy depending on what type of crackers they are. But no chips, no potato chips, barbecue chips, which I already wasn't eating anyway like that. I would have them at like gatherings if they were out for grabs. But yeah, but none of that. All gone, clean slate, no chips. Definitely no candy. I really don't even eat candy like that anyway.
Yeah.
But mostly it was for me. It was like you know, chicken patties, chicken nuggets you pop in the oven, pizza bites,
Right.
frozen pizzas. Those are just a few processed foods I could think of. Fast food was not an issue for me already. Like I really don't care for fast food. I haven't for the last probably a year and a half. I stopped eating fast food. Now I'd have it here and there. Like if I was out on the road and I didn't have an option, say I'm traveling and I'm like, I have like, say I'm driving for amount of hours and there's nowhere to stop and I really don't have time to stop at a restaurant, then fast food, obviously, but none of that this year either. I'm just gonna have to plan ahead or I'm gonna have to starve. But yeah. The reason behind that habit of why I wanted to go through with that is because my family has a long bloodline on my father's side of having heart issues by the age of like 45-ish and so forth. So I want to get ahead of the game. I'm 25 right now. So I figured it'd be the smartest idea. Make sure that's still recording. I figured it'd be the smartest idea for me to get ahead of it while I'm young and, while I still can do these things, while I still do have my youth and energy and motivation to do these things, why not get ahead of the game? So, one day when I have children and I have a family and a wife and everything, they don't have to worry about, daddy dying from eating a hamburger or something, right? So,
Gotcha.
how about yourself? I have a lot more I could change,
Yeah, I
but
understand.
how about yourself?
New habits. New habits. I would say new habits would be. I have three things that popped in mind. One would be my physical health. Another one would be my attitude, and another one would be my work ethic. So my physical health, I always dabbled in working out. Like I would work out for like 2 weeks straight or maybe a month straight, go hard, feel good, and then it would die down. This year I want to be able to keep that up for, as long as I pretty much live, as long as I'm physically able to do that.
Right.
And then my attitude, that mainly is like within my relationship. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to stay as optimistic as I can, as wise and mature as I can, and then also carry that within other areas in my life.
Gotcha.
Right. And then also the other thing I said was my work ethic. Again, I feel like I would get these bursts of wanting to put in work and then it would die down. And I want to be able to maintain that and figure out why did that die down. Maybe I lost faith. Maybe I ran out of ideas. Maybe I didn't have the results I was looking for. But not, with the help of you for sure, you know what I'm saying? The work ethic definitely has increased and is able to I would keep it maintained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Keep it up.
appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, Another hobby that really sticks out to me is well, I have a lot, but I really just want to tackle the top three like you did. Um, the first one is my eating habits. Been real strict on that this entire year. I've shut down anytime somebody's offered me dessert, even though I've been dying to eat a brownie and have vanilla ice cream with it. Shut it down, not doing it. Instead, I substitute, like I was telling you earlier, sliced apples,
Yeah,
dip it in peanut butter.
right.
Uh, I go for natural peanut butter so it doesn't have any added sugars to it or anything like that. Other than that, the other hobby for me is reading more and becoming more spiritually aware of things and how I react to things. And I feel like both of those go together in one. Because I feel like for me, reading is kind of like I don't want to say therapy, but it's kind of like a guide for me, but therapy at the same time, if that makes sense. Like I know what I'm supposed to do and I know how I'm supposed to act, but when you get caught in life and life gets busy and my life does get busy, obviously, I do a lot of stuff as far as content and internet stuff. So
Yeah,
when my life gets busy, I do forget how to react to things that might upset me. I feel like by me reading every day, it kind of reminds me because of the books that I'm reading, kind of reminds me like this is how you should be responding to these things. React consciously, not subconsciously. So
yeah,
I have become more aware of how I would react to things in the past compared to how I'm reacting to them now.
yeah.
Um, so that's definitely habit number two. Now habit number three, huh, I guess it's just staying more active. Every day I try to go for a walk, or if I don't go for a walk, then I go for a run. Either every day, it's one or the other, no in between. And then consistency has never been an issue well, for me in the past year and a half, maybe 2 years. Excuse me. Um, so it's not hard for me to stay consistent. What's hard for me is to stay into the mindset that remains within me to keep me consistent. So those three habits is what will get me.
What do you mean mindsets? Or as far as like making sure you know what your goals are, what your intentions are, what your purpose is?
Yeah, so it's not hard for me to create music. It's not hard for me to create content. It's not hard for me to post. It's not hard for me to promote myself, market myself, send emails, do shows. None of that's hard to me because I actually love doing that. What makes me slow down at a certain point of the year is my mindset because it's this self hatred that I have within myself that tells me I'm not worth it. So I've decided to just strip myself down mentally and just start to rebuild it this year. And I feel like after this year, when I teach myself all these things mentally, I'm just gonna be a force. I'm gonna be more of a force than I am now, and that's really what it is. So every year prior to this, it's always been all about focusing on my music and my music goals, and those still are a main priority to me. But this year, it's myself that comes before that because I feel like if I can do that, only my music will grow from that point forward. So if I can work on both things at the same time, they'll both prosper and they'll both help each other grow, you know? So
100%. I
yeah.
agree. I fully agree with you saying. All right, man. I think that can conclude this episode of FRIDEAS. I do want to say some final notes on some of the things you were saying. I believe that with the books, when you're downloading all this information, I feel like, there's so many words, so many pages. You may not be able to recite everything right away, but I feel like it's all locked in. And subconsciously, as you go through life, it comes out at the times that it may need to come out. You understand me? All that knowledge is stored in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm balancing books right now, starting out with short reads.
Mhm.
And then as the year goes on, and I get used to reading the way I used to read, then I'll probably go to bigger reads. I'm not a fan of audiobooks. Sorry to anybody that is. I think that you just fully acquire what it is that the author was trying to put into your brain. I think you acquire that more when you're actually reading it, not listening to it. Because you could be listening to something, but then you could be focused on something else. You're not fully grasping what it is that that person's saying, but it's like hitting you in that moment where you're like, that's deep. But like, it's more deep if you're reading it in your head and you're processing it as you're reading. You're like, whoa, okay, hold on. It's kind of relatable. This is kind of deep because you're only focused on that book at the moment. It's not like I'm lifting weights while listening to somebody read the book for me.
Mm. You know what I think is pretty much the new version of an audiobook is our podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I really enjoy podcasts. Like I know what you mean. Though I'd rather pick up a physical book.
Yeah, no, podcast is different. Like, you don't necessarily need to watch the video of a podcast,
Yeah,
but like, because honestly, podcast, most of the time, it's just one of the hosts' voice is just so soothing.
mm,
And then adding topics that people are actually interested in just adds on to the factor.
right.
So,
All right. Well, this concludes this episode of FRIDEAS. We also have a new addition to the episodes of FRIDEAS. Want to go ahead and dive into it?
yeah. We're going to do top 5 brackets. And what
Yes.
that means is we're going to do a draft pick of a topic. And I can't pick what Sharez chooses, and he can't pick what I choose. Does that make sense? And then we're going to do top 5 for each. And then you guys in the comments are going to comment below who had the better draft list.
All right.
All right. For this first time, we're going to do top 5 hobbies. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, one of my main hobbies right now would be making beats.
All right. We'll say music, just music overall.
Well, there's a lot of levels to music.
We'll just say creating music.
Creating music, okay. All right, bet.
We'll summarize that.
Creating music, my number one hobby.
Um, Second, for me, my first hobby, we'll summarize it, sports.
Okay. Mine, number 2 would be listening to podcasts.
Okay. 2 for me would be video games.
Number 3 for me would be reading books.
Okay. More sophisticated bracket here. I'm gonna go with the gym or working out for 3 for me.
Okay. So number 4 for me would be a hobby for me. And let's see. I enjoy filming.
Okay. Number 4 for me, cooking.
Okay, see, okay, that's a good one. Another hobby for me, I would say, cleaning and organizing.
Okay. Number 5 for me is going to be shopping.
Nice.
That's my 5.
And that's my 5.
All right. Let us know down below in the comments who had the better bracket and what do you like to see us put on the bracket that we might have missed.
And what's on your bracket for your top 5 hobbies?
And that's been our first episode of FRIDEAS of the year 2024. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know it's been a while since we posted, but we're back at it every Friday for the whole year. So tune in, share it to your friends, share it to your grandma, let your goldfish hear it, watch it with your dog, do whatever you got to do. Grab a bag of chips for the next one, soda, whatever, water, H2O. Better see you there.
Get those apples and that peanut butter.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Deuces.